welcome. My name is Alyssa and this is Into the Heart Wild. And today I am bringing you guys a TBR, MBR video. This is the first video I've done like this for the year because I have been trying to not constrain myself to TBRs. And yet the goal was to read mostly books I own this year, and I went way off kilter with reading over 50 books by Ruby Dixon that I don't own through Kindle Unlimited. So now I'm trying to get back on track, trying to get back to doing that the correct way. Also, before we jump into that, the makeup look today is brought to you guys by my daughter. She did my makeup and she was like, you need to go film a video now because you always say you can't film a video without doing your makeup. So that's why it looks very different from my normal makeup look. Still taking me a minute to get used to it. But yes, brought by her. Same with curling the hair. So with that said, I have my TBR plans split up in quite a few different piles. There's going to be a lot of books on this list. There's about 11 of them that are for sure going to be easy to read, and when I get to that pile, we'll know why. Everything else is kind of like a up in the air kind of situation. So with that said, let's just go ahead and let's just jump into the books that I have. So the first pile that I'm starting with is actually books that I started in June and am going to be finishing in July. The first one in that pile is Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Miro. This big old chonker, as you can see. I'm right here. This is towards the end of the book, not the beginning. And I've been using the audiobook to listen to this one. I love it. It's amazing. So I will be finishing this one up. I think I have about 6 hours left on the audiobook, so that will be priority on getting done because I really am enjoying this one. The next one that I started is The Riddle Master of Head by Patricia A. McKillop. I've read about 3 chapters so far, and then I got distracted because I picked up Ordinary Monsters because it was calling to me off the bookshelf. So I will be going back and finishing this. This is the first book in a trilogy, so if I end up finishing the first book and liking it, I will jump right into the next 2 books after it. I would show you those if they weren't currently wrapped up on a different bookshelf for a different project that me and my daughter did together. This next pile that I'm going to show you guys is a pile of graphic novels and manga. Now this is a pile where there's about 11 of them in it in total, and these are for sure positives going to read because I can read probably this entire pile in a day or 2, depending on what time of the day I start, because I read graphic novels and manga very, very fast. First is volume 3 and volume 4 of Lore Olympus. These are the Illumicrate editions, but this is a graphic novel about Hades and Persephone. Not my most favorite Greek mythology couple, but it's a graphic novel and it's Greek mythology. It's fun. Then after that, I have Night of the Living Cat volumes 1 and 2. These are by Hawkman, and they're manga. It's a world where a virus spreads across the world, transforming people into wild, slavering, furry beasts. Cats, to be precise. That's what it says on the back. So yeah, it's a virus that breaks out and people start turning into cats. And I have learned over the years that I love manga with cats. It's the only way I could be near cats because I'm allergic to them. After that, we have volume 5 of Die Dark by Q Hayashida. This is a space horror wild ride. That's the best way to explain it because that's how how Q Hayashida just writes. It's an experience. It's a wild ride, but it's horror in space. It's got the horror elements. It's in space. It's wild. It's weird. It's crazy. She's got a very, very grotesque kind of art style that I love. Then after that, we have A Man and His Cat volume 7. I love this manga. It is one of my top favorite mangas as of now. It's still being written and, produced and whatnot, but we are up to volume 7 here in the US, and I love it so much. I'm ready to get back to this little world with Kanda and Fukumaru. I'm so excited to see what happens next. This one also, every volume has managed to make me cry, just so you guys know. After that, I have the next volume in The Girl from the Other Side, Shururun. These are the deluxe editions, so this is, I think, 3 volumes in one. This is the second volume in the series of the deluxe versions, but I will be continuing this one. This is another one where it's the style grabbed me. The story is very interesting. It's a little girl who is stuck. She's on the other side of the forest, and everyone is telling her that she needs to get away from this guy because he's like evil, but now they're saying she's evil. And I want to know why. I want to know, like, there's a lot of mystery going on from the first deluxe volume to this one. There's still a lot of questions that need to be answered. So, and I don't think I'm going to get them all in this one, because in total there's going to be 4 deluxe editions altogether. So I'm pretty sure it's not going to be towards like the very end that everything gets revealed. I read it a couple years back when they were doing them individually, but I have since forgotten the story. So definitely looking forward to diving back into this one and seeing what happens next. Then after that, there is volumes 6, 7, and 8 of Fist of the North Star, which, if you've seen me talk about this before, it's Mad Max, and that's coming from someone who's only ever seen trailers for Mad Max. But those are the vibes, with some martial arts thrown in and whatnot. They're just, I love this manga. I love it very much. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the next 3 and this one. And I actually think volume 9 comes out this month, so I'll have to figure out how to get a hold of that. But like I said, those are for sure gonna be read this month, because I can get through all of those in a day. So looking forward to getting to those and getting all of those cleared off of my backlog of books that I was supposed to be focusing on this year. After that, I picked 2 books that I received last year in 2022, because I had noticed there was this little trend going on where people were trying to read all of the books they bought last year this year. And while I know that is physically impossible for me because I got quite a bit of them last year, I was like, you know what, let's just pick 2 of them. So the first one I picked out was The Second Sight of Zachary Cloudsley by Sean Lusk. This is a historical fiction that revolves around a boy named Zachary who grew up in a workshop with his father. It's a clock workshop, and his father worked on all kinds of clockwork automata. And the interesting thing about Zachary is he has a special little gift. At the touch of a hand, he can touch and see into the hearts and souls of anybody that he comes into contact with. Well, he faces a near fatal accident, and all of that changes. And in the end, his father ends up leaving, who goes on this trip to Constantinople and doesn't return. And Zachary, years later, goes on a mission to find him and find out what happened to his father. And I'm very interested in that. I was interested in the clockwork aspect. The title was really grabbing for me. I saw this on the Goldsboro website and was just kind of like, I want to read that. I really do. So yeah, looking forward to this one. It sounds enchanting. It sounds like magical, but it also has like that mystery element to it. And I'm definitely getting into like more mystery books lately. So, and I also like the appeal of the historical aspect because I do like historical fiction. And then the other book that I picked up is Bonnie and Reed by Julie Walker. This is a story about Anne Bonny and Mary Read, the pirate queens of the Caribbean. I love the tale of Anne Bonny. It is one of my favorites. So knowing that this little beauty was written last year, it almost like went right under my radar had I not seen it on Goldsboro's site. It's just a standard edition, nothing special except for it's signed. But I was like, Anne Bonny, let's go. I want it. No other reasons. After that, this next pile I have are the leftover library books that I had from last year last month, that I had from last month that I'm hoping to either be able to read or just end up returning them and try at a later date. So first up is Light Chaser by Peter F. Hamilton and Gareth L. Powell. I don't know anything about it. It's a novella, so I can read this in probably like an hour and a half, maybe 2 at most. But it's sci-fi. That's all I know. It's sci-fi. Then we have Pinata by Leopold Golt. This is a horror book. I had initially had this pre-ordered, and then Barnes & Noble canceled my pre-order for some stupid reason. So I went and picked it up from the library. I don't know anything about it other than the fact that it's based on Mexican lore, I believe. But the cover was really, really what pulled me in. And the last three that I have from the library, which I think I could probably get through them fairly quickly because they look like they'll just fly by, and that would be Shady Hollow, Mirror Lake, and Cold Clay. These are books 1, 2, and 3 in the Shady Hollow murder mystery series with little animals. They're animals. I saw these at Barnes & Noble, and it took everything in my soul not to buy them right then and there, and I was like, let me get them from the library first, because if I end up not liking them, then at least I didn't waste the money. But if I end up loving them, then I'll get them. But it just sounded so intriguing. And it says Watership Down meets Mikey Spillane, a mystery of rare and sinister charm. I don't know who Mikey is, since I don't read mystery, but it gave me, when I saw it, it gave me like Wind in the Willows like vibes, but with murder. So I'm looking forward to reading this little series. I had initially started it when I was at the library, and then this weird creeper dude like sat near me and made a bunch of noise, and I left. So this next pile that I have are some of the arcs that I have. These are the physical arcs that I have. I am very behind on arcs, and I do feel bad. Like, I know there isn't like a time limit on these kind of things, but I want myself to keep them on a time limit because I don't want authors waiting, especially considering all three of these are indie authors. The other one is from a small press, so I want to get better at keeping myself on top of my arc reads. That way I'm not so behind. So I have been actively not searching any out. If I have worked with authors before, then I am more than willing to, do more arc reads for them. But at the moment, I'm not taking on any new authors until I feel I am in a better place to do so. So with that said, I decided to pick the physical arcs that I have because I do have a ton of digital arcs to go through, but I get through physical arcs much faster than I do digital because I do get eye strain looking at my iPad. Not my iPad. My daughter has an iPad. I have a Kindle. So I do get eye strain though looking at it, and I spent the last 3 months reading strictly off of it, so I desperately need a break from it. So with that said, the first two books are a duology. They are Game of Strength and Storm and Clash of Fate and Fury. These are by Rachel Menard. These are from the press house Flux, and like I said, it's a duology. It's Greek mythology. I believe it's based on Hercules, if I remember correctly. If I'm wrong, I will correct that later on when I read them and review them. But it's YA. I'm pretty sure I can get through these really, really quickly because there's a formula to YA that makes it very easy for me to like fly through them. So definitely looking forward to these because I do like Greek mythology. I love people's take on them to see what they can do, as long as it sounds interesting. So these are definitely going to be a top priority. After that, I have The Awakening Fire by Cassidy Faline. This was sent to me back in March, I believe. So I do feel very bad about not having gotten to this one yet. But this one is it's in the SPFBO this year, number 9. But I've had it for a while, so it's top priority. It sounds interesting to me. 3 men fighting over the throne. And I like reading stories about men who fight over stuff. I just like it. So I'll be looking forward to this one. It sounds like it's going to be right up my alley. Then after that, we have The First Ancestor by J.D.L. Rosal. This is book 2 in Ranger of the Titan Wilds. I loved the first book. I only had one minor issue with it, and it's not even something it's a small thing, But other than that, I loved everything about it. I loved all the mystery surrounding the Titan beasts and everything, and just the characters. They were fun and great to follow. The world was entertaining and interesting. Just so much going on. So definitely looking forward to this one. I've had it for a minute now, and it's time that I finally get to it. And then the last book, and quite honestly the one that I am most excited to start this month because it just showed up today, and I'm a big fan of his other series, but Down Below Beyond by T.A. Bruno. I love Bruno's Song of Kamaria series. I'm sure you guys have seen me talk about it before. The one with the big bird aliens, the Akanai. I love them. So this is from the little note in the beginning of it. It takes place, I believe, like, I want to say he said it's in the same, like, galaxy. Let's see. It's a standalone novel that shares elements with the Song of Kamaria trilogy, but readers aren't required to have any knowledge of the novels to understand this one. So there's references. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But overall, like, I've seen character designs, I've seen the character art. Other than that, I'm gonna walk into this one blind because I have not bothered to read the synopsis for it. I've just been on the sideline just rooting Bruno along. Just, let's go, get it done. I'm ready. How can I have it now? So I am looking forward to this one so much, and I'm so glad it showed up today because it made filming this video so much more fun. So those are all the books that are my TBR, MBR possibilities. I'm not gonna get through all of these. I know that. I'm not crazy, but it allows me to have my mood readings, as well as trying to keep to some kind of structure, as well as tackle my extremely large TBR backlog of the books I own. So if you've read any of these, if you're excited for any of these yourself, go ahead and drop a comment below. And if you want to stick around and see more stuff, go ahead and like, subscribe, and all of those fun things. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.